It's still spinning. Yeah, now it
Okay, I see it. All right, Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yashai Bragatham to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alatham Bashim Yashai to the sisters. I'm Precinct Officer Shargapan of the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Today is the Brotherhood class every Tuesday. So we're gonna give everyone that's joining us a few minutes to get their Bibles out, their notebooks out, their pens, their dictionaries, whatever they need for class to take notes. We're gonna give you all a few more minutes to get prepared, okay? If you have any questions on today's subject, which is Brotherhood in the Wilderness, please feel free to text it into the chat, whether it's Facebook, Yonkers headquarters, or online classes, or the YouTube page, all right? Okay. To Trooper Shaka War and to YAHANNA, Ya Allah, Shalom, Yahushua. What's going on, brothers? Let me check the Facebook. Headquarters. Matazaya Ya Allah, Shalom. Terrence, Bernie, Shalom, what's going on? Okay. Whenever you're ready, sir.
I'm good with you.
Okay. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to be starting today's class. It's the Tuesday Brotherhood class. Again, this is the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. And today, like every other Tuesday, is the Brotherhood class, which is also synonymous for sisterhood. Okay? So we're going to be opening our Bibles to the book of Exodus, chapter 17. All right, we're going to start at the book of Exodus, chapter 17. I'm going to give you all a few minutes to get there. And we're going to start off in verse 8. Chapter 17, verse 8.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim.
So here, just to give you a little backdrop, Moses, through the power of the Lord, has led all of Israel out of Egypt. And now we're living in the wilderness, right? So here, as we're living in the wilderness, Amalek, the so-called European, East European white Jewish man today, right, started to cause problems with us, started to come up against us, started to attack us, to cause war against Israel as we are trying to gather ourselves together, become a solid nation, serve the Lord, and grow while we're in the wilderness. Please continue, sir.
Verse 9. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek.
So Moses, he took a solid brother named Joshua, a great man of war who followed orders, right? And Moses ordered him to pick men out to go and fight against Amalek, to defend against the enemies of Israel, to defend against the enemies of God. Keep going, sir.
Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the rod of the Most High in my hand.
And while Joshua led the army of Israel to go fight against Amalek, Moses was going to be watching from on top of the hill with the rod of God, the staff that God gave to Moses, the staff that Moses used to turn into the staff that the Most High turned into a snake, the staff that Moses used from the Lord to split the Red Sea. He's going to use this rod again to help declare victory for God on Israel's behalf. Okay, sir? Please continue.
Verse 10. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him.
He did what, sir?
As Moses had said to him.
Now, coming out of the world, we all have issues with following orders from people who we may not think are better than us, or from people who may be our equal. And being raised in a world where we're not meant to follow rules and we're not meant to keep obedience and order, when coming into this truth and serving the Lord, we all have to struggle and fight every day to understand that there's men above us that lead us, that there's men above us that know better than us. And every day it will be a constant struggle to be mindful that there are men who look after our lives that know better than us. So whether we think we're in the right or whether we're wrong, we should all know that these men above us know better than us. And it is our duty to obey them, because they're the ones that are going to be making the best decisions that we're not capable of making at that point. That we're going to be, hopefully, Lord allow, grow to be able to make decisions like these men who are above us do, who are capable of leading, who are capable of showing great brotherhood. And Moses right here gave an order to Joshua, and Joshua knew that Moses was a prophet of the Lord. Joshua knew that Moses knew more than him, and Joshua trusted in Moses because he served the Lord. So part of being a good brother, part of being a good sister is obeying the men above you, because they are the real men of the Lord. They know what's right and what's wrong. They will steer you to the path that God wants you to go on. Please continue, sir.
Come. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek.
And we went to war against the so-called Eastern Jew, the white Jewish man today, right? Please continue, sir.
And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the mountain, up to the top of the hill.
Now this is very important. It said Moses, Aaron, and Hur. It didn't say that Joshua went to war by himself. He picked men that were fit to go to war. It didn't say that Joshua was not going to have any guidance. Moses said he was going to be watching from a distance with the rod of God. It didn't say that Moses went to the hilltop alone. He went there with Aaron and Hur. It is very important that as brothers and sisters understand that we all need each other in order to accomplish great things. We all need each other in order to save our nation. We all need each other in order to obey God and have him show favor unto us. We all need our brothers and sisters to be as one body in order, if we're going to have God send our King Christ back down to us. So Moses wasn't alone when he went on top of the hill. Joshua wasn't alone when he went to fight. And we all need to understand that here, when we come out the world, we finally have a family where we will never feel alone, where brothers will check us when we're wrong and help us grow, when sisters can become better women, where brothers can become better men, where men can become better fathers and women can become better mothers, better sisters and brothers. This is what the I.S.U.P.K offers to every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. Please continue, sir.
Verse 11. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed.
And we should take notice of what it just said here. It said that whenever the leader, the man in charge, whenever Moses raised his hand up holding the rod of God, the armies of Israel were winning. The brothers and sisters were doing wonderful things in the name of God. Now, sometimes it can be such a great burden when we're all not helping the man in charge. When the prophet doesn't have the support of the people, when the king of Israel doesn't have the support of his people, it can be difficult to keep on succeeding. Sometimes a man can lose hope because he can feel like he's by himself. Please continue, sir.
Come. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed.
And sometimes even great men like Moses can become so physically tired that they might have to put their hand down and rest for a bit. And we should all be aware that sometimes us being so disobedient in the world and trying to change ourselves in this truth can sometimes be tiring for the men that lead us righteously. Please continue, sir.
Verse 12. But Moses' hands were heavy.
And just like Moses, sometimes this work can be very heavy for Commanding General YAHANNA. And he has to relax and relax his mind and take a break and recover from any ailments or sickness. Sometimes this work can be so heavy for General Mahaim and all the men above us that they have to take a break to be able to continue to serve the Lord the best way that they can. Please continue, sir.
Come. And they took a stone and put it under him.
What did they do, sir?
They took a stone and put it under him.
However, Moses wasn't alone. He had Aaron and Hur. Commanding General YAHANNA is not alone in serving the Lord. He has General Mahaiman, General Mayaki Allah, General Hazayan, all the generals, all the captains, all the officers and troopers underneath him. And Aaron and Hur saw that their leader needed help. And they did their part in being a good brother and good servants. They put a stone under Moses so Moses can rest. Please continue, sir.
Come. And he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands.
And while Moses sat, Aaron and Hur helped Moses. They helped Moses keep that staff up in as high. Because as we read in verse 11, when Moses held the rod of God up in the air, Israel prevailed. Joshua and the army of Israel were beating Amalek, were beating down our nations, the nations of the enemies that came up against us. And Aaron and Hur helped Moses keep that rod up in the air so that way we can continue to prevail. Moses did not have to bear that burden on his own. Please continue, sir.
Come. The one on the one side and the other on the other side.
And both Aaron and Hur each took an arm and held his arms up to help Moses keep the rod of God in the air. Please continue.
And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun.
And they helped Moses keep his hands up, holding the rod of God until the sun went down. Moses did not do it by himself. He had help from his brothers. Just like here in the I.S.U.P.K, Commanding General YAHANNA had help from his brothers to keep on fighting, to help encourage him to keep on going until the Lord blessed Commanding General YAHANNA and General Mayaki Allah and General Mahaiman with more brothers and sisters to build and grow this school for the Lord. Please continue, sir.
Verse 13. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword.
And because Moses had his brothers there to help him, Joshua was able, with the assistance of Moses and the armies of Israel, to defeat Amalek, to fight them off, to slay the enemies of God, to slay the enemies of Israel. Please continue, sir.
Verse 14. And the Most High said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
And so we will always remember this great day, this great defeat, this promise that the Lord said that he will always be against Amalek. As we read down to verse 16, it says that The Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. The Lord will always be against the enemies of Israel. Now, the only way that we as Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women can have the Lord keep this promise is if we become brothers and sisters to each other again. That we keep the laws that God gave to us, that our forefathers promised to keep, that we promised to keep in the desert, in the wilderness, while we're here and with Moses. Joshua could not have defeated the armies of Amalek on his own. Moses could not have kept his arms up to hold the rod of God up on his own. We all need help. We all, most importantly, need our brothers, need our sisters, because they're the only ones that can help us to serve the Lord. They're the only ones that can keep us on the right track to serve the Lord. And as proof here, Joshua, the armies of Israel, Moses, Aaron, and Ur were all great examples on how we need each other to succeed. We need each other to succeed. Joshua didn't give up when Moses put his arms down. He kept fighting regardless if we were losing at those particular moments. Aaron and Ur, you think they didn't feel any pain, or they didn't feel any soreness or tired in their arms, helping Moses hold up the rod of God? It's only natural for us to become physically tired, but the point is they did not give up. They persevered together, which is the most important thing that we all need to understand as Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women. We can persevere together.
Right.
We can suffer together and overcome together. We can make each other better together. We can point out our flaws to become stronger together. And if you're in the right spirit, you'll take heed to this correction. If you're in the right spirit, you will listen to the men that you serve, the men that are above you, that look after your lives, that give reports on how you're doing. Because without them, we wouldn't be able to do this together. Without Aaron and Moses and Hur, we would not have been able to win that battle. Without Joshua obeying orders that Moses gave to him and going to war, we would not have been able to win that battle. And most importantly, if we don't serve the Lord and obey the Lord, we won't be able to win any battle, whether it's against our enemies, or whether it's against our lusts, our flesh, our demons that we have to fight on a daily basis. All right, and any questions on this particular chapter?
Yeah.
Nothing on Facebook, sir?
No, not yet.
No? Okay. Nothing on Yonkers. Okay, we can continue. So remember, if you have any questions on the topics that we're going over, please feel free to type them in, all right? Okay, we can all move on. We're going to go to Exodus chapter 32. Exodus chapter 32, and we're going to start at verse 1. I'll give you all a few moments to get there, okay? All right, so if you can, so you can start.
Okay. Exodus chapter 32, verse 1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron.
Now Moses right now is up on the mount speaking with the Lord, right? And Moses has been up there for a very long time. And the people were so accustomed to seeing Moses do all these miraculous feats in the name of the Lord, right? They're starting to doubt Moses. They're starting to have doubt in the Most High power that brought the plagues onto Egypt, that split the Red Sea, that fed them and gave them water to drink while they're in the wilderness. They're starting to doubt Moses. They're starting to doubt the Lord, right? And so they decide to go to the second person in command, which was Aaron. Aaron, who is the brother of Moses. Please continue.
Come. And said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us to Egypt, we want not what is.
So they're demanding Aaron to do something about the disappearance and absence of Moses. They want Aaron to do something about the disappearance and nothing being done from this so-called God that Moses came in the name of. They're demanding Aaron to make them a God that they can actually physically see, they can actually physically touch, they can actually physically talk to, because we are so stiff-necked and stubborn and disobedient that we want to be like the heathens. We wanted Aaron to make us a God that we can touch and feel and see, just like we learned during our time in Egypt. Because the Egyptians had fake gods that they can touch and see and look at and talk to, and it brought the Egyptians some false sense of comfort. So we believe that we can have some false sense of comfort since Moses is no longer around us. We don't know what happened to Moses. Moses could have fell on a rock, could have tripped on a rock and fell to his death, and we would have never heard from Moses and this so-called God, this Most High power, ever again. And here we are stuck in the desert, in the wilderness. Please continue, sir.
Come. Verse 2. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me.
Now, what Aaron is about to do right now is an example of a lack of brotherhood. Aaron has witnessed firsthand, right next to Moses, some of the most wonderful things that a man could see from our God. He saw frogs come out of the water. He was there when Moses' rod turned into a serpent. He was there when he would go with Moses and speak for Moses for the Most High against Pharaoh, to Pharaoh. He was there when Moses split the Red Sea in the name of the Lord. He was there witnessing every single thing. And right now, Aaron is showing a great display of a lack of brotherhood, because he should have had more belief, more faith in Moses. He should have had more belief and faith in the Most High God, who he was a representative for. And he should have told his brothers and sisters how rude and disrespectful and how disobedient they are, that they can even dare to say out of their mouths that they want a God that they can see, that they want a God that they can touch. Please continue, sir.
Verse 3. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Moses. Verse
Aaron, sir.
And brought them unto Aaron.
And Aaron had a moment of great weakness that ended up aiding and assisting in the nation of Israel to commit a great sin to the Most High. And as brothers and sisters, no matter what a person wants, no matter what our people are crying for, a great brother and a great sister will not disobey the Lord to satisfy the people. Please continue, sir.
Verse 4. And he seized them at their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf.
A what, sir?
A molten calf.
Now, a molten calf was one of the gods that Babylon worshipped. A molten calf was one of the gods that Egypt worshipped. So we basically refer to our slave masters' gods, just like we do here in 2021, sir. We refer to a crucifix.
Right.
We refer to the hands of Caesar Borgia, who we think is Jesus Christ. We revert to rosary beads. We revert to going to the Middle East and visiting the stone called Allah and circling it 7 times and kissing it 7 times and bowing down to it 7 times. We resort to lighting incense and candles to Buddha and all these other fake gods and for the dead. This is what we know best. We know how to disobey the Lord, and we know how to take the fake gods of our enemies, of our slave masters. Please continue, sir.
Come. And they said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
Now this is blasphemy right here. This is utmost blasphemy. They're taking credit away from the Most High God, who actually did all these miraculous things, who brought these plagues onto Egypt, and they're giving the respect and honor and credit to a golden object that cannot see, that cannot hear, that cannot speak, that cannot receive anything, this golden calf, just like every other fake god and idol, cannot do anything for the people that worship and praise it and serve it. It's an inanimate object with no power. It lacks the ability to save you when you're in trouble. It lacks the ability to heal you when you're hurt. It lacks the ability to comfort you when you're down and out. It lacks the ability to give you hope. And they're giving credit to all these wonderful things to a golden calf that they just made. Please continue, sir.
Come. Slack you.
Verse 5, sir.
Verse 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is the feast of the Most High.
And right now they're about to have a feast, a party to this golden calf. And they're using the excuse of serving the Lord for it. That's not what brothers and sisters do. A good brother and a good sister will go against anyone that comes up against serving the Lord. A good brother and a good sister will go up against anyone that is blaspheming the Most High power. A good brother and good sister will let a brother and sister know when they are wrong, when they are out of control, when they need help, when they need guidance, when they need correction and checking and discipline. And right now, Aaron, who was put in charge as Moses went to go speak to the Lord, is failing his brothers and sisters. He's allowing his brothers and sisters to convince him and demand of him to create a God, to make a feast to this fake God in the absence of Moses, in the absence of the real God, while the Most High is speaking with Moses. Please continue, sir.
Verse 6. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. And
they, being so dishonorable, so disobedient, that they decided to have a party in the name of this golden calf that they created. They decided to bring burnt offerings to this golden calf who cannot smell the sweet fragrance while they burn these offerings. They brought peace offerings to this golden calf who has no power to bring peace to them, from whether it's amongst themselves or whether it's from their enemies to them. And they decided to get drunk and party and sing and dance and play to this fake God, this golden calf that they use their own gold to build. Please continue, sir.
Come. Verse 7. And the Most High said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves.
Now the Most High knows everything. The Most High knows when you're by yourself and you're doing wrong. And the men above you will know the same as well, because it will eventually show. The Lord is telling Moses to go back down the mount to the encampment of Israel, because right now they are committing treason against the Lord. They are committing blasphemies against the Lord. They are corrupting themselves when they are supposed to be serving the Lord and being perfect. Please, sir, continue.
Verse 8. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them.
They have gone against every single thing that the Lord commanded them to do. Right? We're all commanded not to lie. We're all commanded to control ourselves. We're all commanded to be brotherly to each other. That's what a good brother and a good sister does. They keep these commandments, these laws, these orders, these statutes that we receive from the Lord, from the men that are above us, that watch out for our souls. Please continue, sir.
Come. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
And the Lord knows that Israel has given credit to a fake God. For everything that God did, for everything that the Most High did for us back in this day, our ancestors, we are giving credit to a fake God that we just built right there on the spot. We took credit away from the Lord and gave it on to some fake golden calf that we built. Please continue, sir.
Verse 9. And the Most High said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people.
And the Lord is absolutely correct. Because as we read from Genesis all the way to Revelations, as we can see with our own eyes on a day-to-day basis, Israel is a stiff-necked and stubborn people. We have a hard time doing what is right, especially being raised in a society, in a culture, in a time where we're taught everything wrong, where we're taught to go against the Lord outside of the I.S.U.P.K. And if it wasn't for brothers like Moses, Jeremiah, Joshua, if it wasn't for sisters like Susanna and Deborah, right, we would not be able to have the examples and inspirations of how the men before us became so great and held on to this truth and stuck with it until they were able to raise more men and more women to serve the Lord. Please continue, sir.
Verse 10. And now, therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them.
Now, the Lord plays absolutely no games whatsoever. It's
right.
His way or it's your death.
That's right.
When people say, oh, you have free will, you don't have free will. When people say you have the free choice, you don't have a choice. There's only one thing you can do. That is, as Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women, there's only one thing we can do. We don't have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. There's only plan A. It's only plan one. That's to obey. If you don't obey, it's death. And right here, the Lord's wrath is what, sir?
Wax hot against them.
The Lord's wrath is waxed hot. It has turned great and fierce against Israel. The Lord's anger and fury and frustration and dislike for what we're doing and disrespect that we are giving Him has made him want to come down with that belt that your father or mother would put down on you. Y'all might not be too young for this, but y'all should know what a hanger feels against your skin. when you disrespect your mother or your father. Y'all should know what I'm not saying this is right, but some of you might know what a broomstick feels like. Some of you might know what getting punched in the head and in the face with rings on might feel like. Getting hit with wooden spoons or metal spoons, or getting hit with a frying pan, or being locked outside the house because you want to come home late and go against what your parents tell you. Some of us may remember those things, might be familiar with those experiences. Some of us may be familiar with having our PlayStation taken away, or your Game Boy taken away, or you're not being allowed to watch TV past 7 p.m. because you failed all your classes, right? The Lord is worse than that. The Lord puts us to death. The Lord brings diseases and plagues and suffering and famine to us when we disobey him. And that's exactly what the Lord has in mind when it says that his wrath waxed hot against us for our disobedience, for our disrespect. Now I want to let you know a little secret. There's a little bit of foreshadowing. The men above us that lead us, that guide us, that keep watch for our souls, they too have the ability and the right to discipline us as well. Keep that in mind. Please continue, sir.
Come. And I will consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
And the Lord said, you know what? I'm going to destroy every single one of them. There's not going to be any more Ephraimites. There's not going to be any more Levites. There's not going to be any more Judites or Reubenites or Danites or Zebulunites or Manassites or Asherites or Issacharites. There's only going to be you, Moses. There's only going to be Mosenites. There's only going to be the descendants of Moses. Keep going, sir, please.
Verse 11. And Moses besought the Most High.
What did he do, sir?
Besought the Most High.
Now Moses, being the extremely wonderful and great brother that he is, he searched after the Lord. He ran after the Lord. He begged the Lord. He chased the Lord down. He did whatever he could to speak to the Lord. He besought the Lord. Please continue, sir.
Come. His power, and said, Most High, why doth thou wrath wax hot against thy people?
And he's asking God humbly, sincerely, my Lord, my power, my God, why are you getting so angry with the people, with our people, with your people, with my brothers, with my sisters? Because I know your wrath leads to absolute death, destruction, decay, obliteration, eradication, complete annihilation. That's the wrath that the Lord brings. Please continue, sir.
Come, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty.
Are the same people that you brought out of Egypt, and you didn't just bring them out nonchalantly. You made the entire earth witness your power. You made the entire earth see flames come from the ground while ice rained down from the sky. You made the entire earth shake. You made the entire earth witness boils appear on people's bodies. You made the entire earth mourn over the death of their firstborns. You made the Red Sea, this raging river, this raging body of water, this raging sea that no one can control. You split it in half. You allowed your people to walk through it. You let the Egyptians see you do all these miraculous things. It was no easy feat. No one on earth could have done this. But you, my God, you, my power, you showed the earth your power. You showed the earth just how real you are and how weak and useless and vain their gods are. This is what you did, Lord. Please continue, sir.
Come. Verse 12. Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say?
What are the Egyptians going to say when you consume and destroy your people? What are the Babylonians going to say when you consume and destroy and kill your people? What are the Amalekites are going to say? What are the Canaanites and the Herbeshites and all these other heathen nations going to say? After they all just witnessed you and told stories about the God of Israel and how powerful he is, what are they all going to say about you, sir? What are they all going to say about you, God? Keep going, sir.
For mischief did he bring them out? To slay them in the mountains?
They're going to say, you only led them out of Egypt to kill them in the wilderness. You only saved them from slavery to just bring death to them. These are what your enemies are going to say about you, God. They're going to say that the God of Israel let them suffer in slavery for centuries just to let them go free and kill them in the wilderness, to have them starve in the wilderness, to have them drown in the wilderness, to have them burn to death in the wilderness, to have their children be eaten by their parents in the wilderness. This is what our enemies are going to say, God. That the God that shook the world did so just so he can kill his people. And I don't want that. I don't want that, Lord. I don't want our enemies to say this about the God of my brothers and the God of my sisters. Keep going, sir.
And to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath.
I beg you, Lord, please don't be angry. Please don't consume our people. Please don't destroy them. Please don't annihilate them. Please don't burn them all. Please don't have the ground split open and have everyone swallowed into a ditch and the earth closed back up. Please don't have your wrath rage upon all the people of Israel, all your people. Please don't do such a thing. Please continue, sir.
Come, turn from that fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people.
Now, we have to understand what Moses is saying here. Right? It's not evil for the Lord to punish those who disobey him. Right? It's actually righteous. Because according to, I believe, the book of Romans, if I'm not mistaken, the wages of sin is death. Am I correct? So that's in the book of Romans?
I believe so.
Right? The wages of sin is death. Right? Now, the Lord doesn't want us to die. The Lord wants us to turn from sin and to walk after him. But here, this evil that Moses is talking about is the destruction that the Lord is going to bring upon Israel. Is the death that the Lord is going to bring. He wants the Lord to change his mind from bringing the death and destruction of the rest of his brothers and sisters. He does not want our enemies to look at the Lord as some evil God who killed his people. Moses is showing true brotherhood right here, because he does not want his people to be destroyed completely. He loves Black, Hispanic, and Native American people so much, he's willing to put himself on the line and talk to God and beg God for forgiveness, just like the men before us do to this day. Please continue, sir.
Come. Remember, verse 13, Exodus chapter 32, verse 13. Remember Abraham.
He's like, and Moses is saying, God, remember Abraham? Continue, sir.
Isaac,
Israel,
thy servants.
They were all your servants. They did what you told them to do. They believed in you. They had faith in you. They walked blindly because they knew that you were guiding them. They went wherever you told them to go. They had trust and faith and belief in you, and you made a promise with them. Remember these men? Remember our forefathers? Remember when you first spoke to Abraham and told him to leave his father's house and told him to travel west? Please continue, sir.
To whom thou swearest by thine own self.
And you are the most righteous person, thing, being, spirit. You are the most righteous thing to ever exist. And you made an oath. And you don't break your oath because you are always righteous. Everything you do is righteous. And you made an oath with these men. Continue, sir.
and saidest unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven.
And you said that you would make sure that the nation of Israel, your people, will be abundant, will fill this earth with the seed of Israel, because they are your people. These are your people who you saved, who you rescued. Please continue, sir.
Come. And saideth unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever.
Now these are your people, sir. These are the people that you made a promise with. You are the only power in existence, and we can't have these heathens talking bad about you. We can't have these heathens thinking that you are a diabolical God, because you are a righteous power. Your name alone is righteous. It's so righteous, people shouldn't be allowed to say it. Heathens shouldn't be allowed to come anywhere near you because of how righteous you are. And you are too righteous to destroy your own people. I know you're upset, but please forgive them. And this is what a good brother does. This is what a good sister does. A good brother and a good sister pleads for their people, tries to get their people to do what's right, keeps faith alive for their people. And that's what Moses did. And that's what Commander General YAHANNA does to this day. He has absolute faith in Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women. So much faith that he has gone in front of the world media to show his faith in the Lord, to show his people down on the Mexican border that he serves the Lord and he cares about Mexican and Haitian people, where he sent his men of the Lord, to save his people, to serve his people, to feed his people. Commander YAHANNA does exactly what Moses would do: fight for his people, show his people that there is someone that cares about them, because we live in a world where we're abused. We live in a world where our brothers and sisters outside of the I.S.U.P.K treat us horribly, where our slave masters constantly beat us down and put us against one another, where our mothers and fathers fight against each other. But Moses, he fought for us. He went and begged the Lord to forgive us. Commander General YAHANNA, he fights for us. He begs the Lord not to destroy us, because we all should be destroyed for what we have done. Please continue, sir.
Come. Salaki. Verse 14. And the Most High repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people.
And because of the brotherhood, the compassion that Moses had, the Lord took back what he was going to do. The Lord decided not to destroy all of Israel. The Lord decided not to put Black, Hispanic, and Native American men, women, and children to death for our great disrespect and blasphemy to the Lord, because Moses loved his people so much. Moses had compassion on his people so much. But also, Moses showed us that we always want the Lord to be on top. We don't want the Lord to ever be looked upon in a terrible light, because the Lord is nothing but righteous.
Right.
Please continue, sir.
Verse 15. And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the two tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides. On the one side and on the other were they written. Verse 16. The tables were the work of the Most High, and the writing was the writing of the power, graven upon the tables.
Now Moses started to walk down the mount with the two tables, the two stones that had the writings of the Most High, that had the laws of the Most High God, right? Please continue, sir.
Verse 17. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as he shouted, he said unto Moses, there is a noise of war in the camp.
Now Moses was walking down the mount, and Joshua was there, his trusted warrior, a mighty man, a mighty hunter and killer for the Lord, who served Moses, was waiting for Moses this entire time. And when Moses came down and Joshua met him, Joshua told Moses that he hears shouting coming down from the Israelite encampment. That he tells Moses, it sounds like our people are in a war. Concert. It sounds like it's possible that Amalek didn't learn their lesson and decided to come back to fight us. They try to see if we're vulnerable at this moment because you are not there with them, Moses. These are all things that we could speculate, because it sounds like there's war going on. It sounds like we're at war. It sounds like someone's attacking us at our encampment. And we have just read in chapter 17 that Joshua was going to war with Amalek. Right? The Lord allowed us to go to war with many nations of people while we're in the wilderness, while we have to go and take the land of milk and honey, the land of Canaan. Right? Sir, if you can, sir, please continue.
Verse 18. And he said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery.
And Moses said, no. That's not the cry of mastery. That's not the sound you hear when people are training. It doesn't sound like people are swinging swords against shields. It doesn't sound like people are shooting bows and arrows. It doesn't sound like people are on horseback. It doesn't sound like our people are training for war. It doesn't sound like that. Because our culture is a warrior culture. Our culture is based on war and fighting and being strong and being prepared. Right? Please continue, sir.
Neither is the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear.
I got it, sir. You sure? Count's okay. And he says, it's not the cry of them being overthrown. It doesn't sound like our people are being attacked. It doesn't sound like our people have been put in a trap. It doesn't sound like our enemies rolled upon us during the night while we were sleeping. It doesn't sound like that. However, it sounds like people are singing. It sounds like people are partying. It sounds like people are drinking, losing control over themselves, going absolutely bonkers down there. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they are having a good old-fashioned time. Keep going, sir, please.
Okay. Verse 19. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh to the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing.
And as soon as Moses and Joshua got closer to the camp, Moses saw exactly what was going on. He saw that golden calf right there in the middle. He saw the people rejoicing and dancing and singing and drinking next to this golden calf that was not there when Moses left. That wasn't supposed to be there because Moses instructed Aaron to do no such thing. Moses gave no orders to build a golden calf. Moses gave no orders to drink and party and have a good old time while we're trying to live in the desert. Please continue, sir.
Come. And Moses' anger waxed hot.
What happened, sir?
Moses' anger waxed hot.
Now remember what I said? That the men above us have the right to be mad at us who they serve. Moses was mad at his brothers and sisters for doing such great blasphemy against the Lord. Commander General YAHANNA has the right to be pissed off at Black, Hispanic, and Native American people when we go against the Lord. The captains and officers who are over us in our cities and regions are righteously in a position to be mad when we do something unlawful, when we do something that's unlike our behavior and unlike our nature. They are in a position to be upset and to be furious when they see us doing wrong. Please continue, sir.
Come. And he cast the tables out of his hands and brake them beneath the mounts.
And at that moment, Moses threw the word of God down onto the floor. He broke them. He crushed them. Because right at that moment, we were proving that we don't deserve the Most High's mercy. We didn't deserve the brotherhood that Moses put his own neck out there. Moses put his neck on the chopping block and begged the Lord not to kill us, not to destroy us. Please continue, sir. You okay, sir?
Come. Verse 20. And he took the calf which they had made and burnt it in the fire and ground it to powder and strawed it upon the water and made the children of Israel drink of it.
Now, as I said earlier, the men who are above us have the absolute right to discipline us, have the absolute right to check us, have the absolute right to punish us righteously in the name of the Lord, in the sight of the Lord. And if we have a problem with that, you can always leave. We can always leave. Because we can't have men and women who decide to do something wrong and then not be man enough or woman enough to take that responsibility of that punishment, of that discipline, of that shame. We can't have men and women in here who don't want to learn from their mistakes, who don't want to be better. We can leave if that's what we choose to do. But here, Moses is in the right position to discipline his brothers and sisters. And the I.S.U.P.K, commanding general, is in his right position to discipline those who don't want to serve the Lord, who disrespect the Lord. The captains and officers over us are in a rightful position to discipline us, to punish us righteously in the name of the Lord when we are doing something wrong. Please continue, sir.
Verse 21.
I'm sorry, sir. And at this moment, Moses destroyed the golden calf. He crushed it into a powder. He mixed it with water, made a concoction, and he made us drink it for our disobedience to the Lord. He commanded and ordered us to drink it for our blasphemies. Please continue, sir.
Verse 21. And what did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them?
And Moses checked the hell out of Aaron. It doesn't matter that that was his own flesh and blood, his literal brother from his mother and father. He checked Aaron and said, what happened that you, the person I put in charge, brought great sin upon all of Israel? What happened that you did this? Please continue, sir.
Come. Verse 22. And Aaron said, let not the anger of the Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people, that they are set on mischief.
And Aaron is begging Moses. He's pleading with Moses. He's saying, my Lord, please don't let your anger wax hot against me. Right? Let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Don't be angry at me, Moses. Don't be angry with the people. You know that we are a stiff-necked and stubborn people. Right, sir? You know how disobedient we can be. You were gone for such a long time and the people got desperate and lost faith. And I felt weak as well. Please continue.
Which is still like a sucker move, because
yes, sir.
It's like you know they like mischief. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just man up and say, look, I felt weak. They asked me and I did it. You know what I'm saying?
Constantly.
It's still what he's saying. It
was a lack of brotherhood.
Yeah, it still was an extreme lack of brotherhood and a pinch of cowardice.
Constantly.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Sloppy. Verse 23. For they said unto me, make us. This is what Aaron is saying.
Yes, sir.
Like
He's telling Moses
make
what
an excuse, pretty
yes,
much.
sir.
For they said unto me, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as from this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
So this is the excuse that Aaron is giving Moses. The people didn't know what happened to you. They wanted gods that they can actually see. So I made them gods that they can actually see. Please continue.
And I said to them, or unto them, whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it to me. So they gave it me, Slakia. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf.
And so I did what the people wanted. I didn't know what happened to you either. And I told them to give me all their gold, and boom, this golden calf is what the result was. This was the result. Any questions, sir?
Not on YouTube.
On YouTube?
I'll let you know.
Constant. Nothing on Yonkers either.
Keep rolling.
Constant. Oh, we're on verse 25 now, sir.
Verse 25. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies.
Now Moses, yes, sir. Now Moses saw that Aaron and the rest of his brothers and sisters exposed their true selves. They exposed themselves. They exposed their disobedience. They exposed their shame. Instead of hardening their members to serve the Lord, their weakness was shown. You would say something, sir? Sure. Come on, sir. And not only did Moses was able to see this nakedness, but our enemies now knew that, now also saw this weakness, this nakedness. They knew that we were serving fake gods again at that moment. They knew that we were disobeying our God who did all these great and wonderful things. Please continue, sir.
God. Verse 26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him.
Now, in front of everyone, and is asking everyone who stands, who really wants to serve the Lord. And those that responded were the sons of Levi. They all stood up and followed Moses. They stood next to Moses. Please continue, sir.
Verse 27. And he said unto them, thus saith the most high power of Israel, but every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from the gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor.
Now I want you all to recognize that Moses, you may think, wow, Moses is committing murder. Moses is killing his own people. Listen, Moses is doing what a good brother would do. Moses just stuck his head out so the Lord wouldn't kill all of Israel. Moses just begged the Lord not to put to death every man, woman, and child and start only a nation through Moses. Now, as a good brother, he's in every right to be angry with his brothers and sisters and discipline them. Commander General YAHANNA is in his very right to be angry and discipline his brothers and sisters if we do something wrong. Our captains, our officers over us are in every right, with permission, of course, from Commander General YAHANNA and the authority of Commander General YAHANNA to discipline us when we are doing wrong. And right here, the Lord could have killed all of Israel. The Lord took back and repented against his wrath, right, to destroy all of Israel. But Moses could not let this slide. Moses, being a man of God, being a great brother, cannot allow this to go unpunished, to go unchecked. Because if he did do that, then we wouldn't be learning our lesson. We wouldn't learn, we would not learn what we should not do again. Right? That was the whole point with Adam and Eve eating from the tree of good and evil. Right? We only knew good. We only knew the Lord's blessings. We never knew what struggle meant. We never knew what hardship meant. We never knew what murder and death and killing is until we ate from the tree of good and evil. Then we knew what suffering was, because we experienced firsthand what suffering was. We never knew what death was until we ate from the tree of good and evil. Then we knew and we experienced the sadness of death, the pain and suffering of being tortured, of going hungry. And here, unfortunately, we had to experience punishment in order to follow and obey the Lord again. Moses gave an order to go and kill and discipline with the power of the Lord, because we don't read anywhere after this where the Lord was angry with Moses for what he did. Nowhere are you going to find in this book that God was angry with Moses for what he just did right now. Nowhere. That's because Moses is doing what he's supposed to be doing as a leader. The Lord could have killed all of us. Moses put his neck out to save all of us. And it's only right that Moses carries out a discipline to please the Lord and to make sure we learn from our trespass.
If I may, real quick.
Yes, sir.
This is what we're reading right now too. Is also is Moses doing a sifting out process.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? He's sifting the weak out. And brothers and sisters that may not be in the school, that may be watching or whatever the case may be, you got to do in your own life now. You got to do exactly what Moses just did. I'm not talking about go out there and physically kill anybody, but if they ain't serving the Lord like you serve the Lord, you need to get them out your life. You need to remove yourself from them and remove them from you, and so forth and so on. You got to get them out of there. I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your best friend, your bestie. I don't care who it is. The Lord's not a respecter of persons. If they're not serving the Lord, like these men that stepped up to Moses when he asked who's serving the Lord, everybody else is get killed. That's what you got to do in your own personal life. You know what I'm saying? And sift out the weak. That's why the UPK, we don't take no cowards. Those are cowards. You know what I'm saying? Christians serve the golden calf. Muslims serve the golden calf. Drug addicts, rapists, sexual deviants, all of that, they serve the golden calf. You understand what I'm saying? And you need to get rid of them out of your life and sift them out of your life the same way Moses sifted out the garbage that was in Israel at this point in time. You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Pastor, and if I can take it a step further, there's a scripture, I believe, I'm forgetting where at, it said, if your right hand offends you, cut it off. I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
If you have issues with you serving the Lord, you should cut whatever that is that's preventing you from serving the Lord.
No, get cut off.
Or you get removed. You know, we're always able to treat cancer when it's at stage 1 or stage 2, right? But when cancer is at stage 4, there's nothing you can do about it. And this school doesn't need stage 4 cancer. This school does not deserve people who conduct themselves in terminal in the same way that terminal cancer does. This school, the commanding general YAHANNA, does not deserve men and women in this school that act like a virus, that act like a cancer. So if you can't deny and cut yourself off from whatever that's making you not serve the Lord, then you should be removed. Again, commanding general YAHANNA did not work this hard to have brothers and sisters act like stage 4 terminal cancer. He does not deserve to have brothers and sisters in this school that act like a virus that's only going to spread and grow and contaminate people. So you deserve to be removed. If you can't remove these things in your life, inside you, that are causing you to not serve the Lord, that are causing you not to be the best brother and sister you can be, then you should remove yourself.
And just to stress it that tad more, and the people in your life, you know what I'm saying? The so-called people you love. It ain't none of that, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure Moses, the same people that Moses is about to get killed, I'm sure he loved them.
No, sir.
He risked his life, changed his life, did everything for them, and he's cutting them off. Their kids, their neighbors, their companions, all of that is getting cut off. You understand what I'm saying? There is no love anybody more than you love the Most High God. You understand what I'm saying? And he's killing them out of love.
Concert.
That is love.
Concert.
You understand what I'm saying? He is killing them out of love. That's the same spirit we all got to take on and possess when we serving the Lord. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Concert. Go on, sir.
That's right.
Can you?
Okay, 27?
No, I'm sorry, you just read that. We're on 28.
Verse 28. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses.
And they carried out that order. They carried out that order of love, that order of brotherhood and sisterhood, to remove those among us that needed to be removed. That needed to be removed so that way brotherhood can prevail. Sisterhood can prevail. Obedience can reign. Please continue, sir.
And there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men.
Now imagine having all of Israel wiped out to only 3,000 being wiped out. Imagine having all of Judah, Levi, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Benjamin be completely obliterated and never remembered on the face of the earth again, to only having 3,000 men, women gone. To me, that seems like a great win for the Lord. That seems like a great win for Israel, because we were, through the mercy of the Lord, we were allowed to live. Through the mercy of Moses, we were allowed to live, because we all went to death. They would have been the nation of Mosites instead of the nation of Israel. Please continue, sir.
Verse 29. For Moses has said, consecrate yourselves to the day of the Most High, even upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day.
Now Moses is telling all his brothers and sisters, let's get back together and let's become holy again. Let's clean ourselves. Let's consecrate ourselves. Let's keep these promises that we made to the Lord. Let's be holy to the Lord. Please continue.
Verse 30. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, ye have sinned a great sin.
And a great leader will tell you your wrongdoings. Will tell you your wrongdoings. Commander General YAHANNA goes out there every single day, trained up these men before us to go out there and not only point out the wrong that our people are doing, but also give our people the solution and how we can reverse our wrongs, right? It makes no sense, like some of these fake Israelite groups that go out there and just condemn the people, call them sinners and whores and drug dealers and disgusting people. It makes no sense to do that if you're not going to give them brotherly love and show them the right way to walk. It makes no sense to do that if you're not going to show your sister how she can be better. But because of Commanding General YAHANNA, we've all been trained to be great brothers and great sisters. We're all in the process of becoming better brothers and better sisters. We all want to be able to give our people the same solutions that we were given. And that is to get ourselves right, to get off of drugs, to stop killing our people, to stop lying, to stop stealing, to fight against our addictions to alcohol or our sexual deviancies or our addictions to drugs. We want to give our people this solution because our people deserve a solution. They don't just deserve to be condemned and destroyed and chastised. They deserve more than that. They deserve a way to grow. They deserve a way to change their lives. Because the scripture says that the Lord rejoices when a man or woman change their lives, stop sinning, and to serve him. The Lord rejoices. The angels rejoice when men and women come to serve the Lord and change their lives. Please continue, sir.
Come. Verse 31. No, Slaki. The middle of verse 30. And now I will go up unto the Lord. Peradventure, I shall make an atonement for your sin.
Now let's look up the word peradventure. If I'm not mistaken, yes, there we go. Perhaps, hoping, right? Perhaps, hope I can make an atonement for your sins. Perhaps we can do some. Perhaps I can do something to have the Lord forgive us all for committing this sin against Him, for committing this blasphemy. Hopefully, perhaps the Lord will be pleased with what I've done as repentance to Him, as a way to get His forgiveness for all of us. Please continue, sir.
Okay. Verse 31. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of gold.
And Moses went to the Lord, and he didn't sugarcoat anything. Just like the men who lead us, the captains, the officers, when they give reports on us, they don't sugarcoat things. They don't sugarcoat it. They tell exactly how it is. Because that's how it should be done. If this brother has a problem, then it's the officers and captains above us to tell what the problem is. This is what it is. And they will come up with a solution to solve it. Whether that's removing you, whether that's disciplining you, whether that's making you pay a fine, whether that's making you have to do something to repent, it's righteous. It's absolute brotherhood for you to be able to make amends for the wrongs that you've done. And Moses right here is telling the Lord exactly what the people did. The Lord already knows. So Moses doesn't really have to tell him. But he's such a good brother, and he's so obedient to the Lord. He's going to tell the Lord exactly what he already knows. Please continue, sir.
Verse 32. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin.
What?
Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin.
If the Lord could please forgive my sins. If the Lord can please forgive all the Black, Hispanic, and Native American men, women, and children, their sins for whatever they're doing in this world. Forever the hiccups they might have on their walk in this truth. Can the Lord forgive their sins? Because that's what good brothers and sisters do. They beg the Lord for forgiveness. They ask not only for themselves, but more importantly for their brothers. The other day, John Muhammad was here at headquarters, and he made a great point talking about the brothers, the Mexicans and the Haitians down in Acuna. He said, if the Lord can forgive my disgusting self, if the Lord can forgive me for all the horrible things that I have done in my life, then I beg the Lord to forgive them. I beseech the Lord to forgive the Mexicans down there at the border for being in the cartels and for cutting the heads off of their own people, for putting their people in drums filled with acid and putting tires on them and lighting them with gasoline and burning them to death. For the Haitians practicing voodoo. For the Haitians killing each other and chopping each other down with machetes. I beg the Lord to forgive them. If the Lord can forgive me for all the wrongdoings I've done, I beg the Lord to forgive them. Because I didn't deserve it and I got it. They don't deserve it and I beg the Lord to give it to them. To allow them to change their life like He allowed us to do. Please continue, sir.
And if not, blot me.
What?
If not, blot me.
Now Moses is in a position where he's telling the Lord, sir, if you can't forgive our people, then forget about me. Get rid of me. Remove me from serving you. That's what he's doing right here. He's putting himself on the line again. The great brother that he's doing. He's begging the Lord to forgive all of Israel. If the Lord, like I don't want to say the wrong thing and say that he's kind of like telling the Lord what to do, but it's more like he's passionately imploring the Lord. Yes, sir.
He's being an extreme brother because blot is just not a simple word.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me get the definition for
blot, you can if you like. You know what I'm saying? Blot. If you ever, I'm old school, so if you ever wrote a letter on actual pen and paper and had to have some whiteout, you blot that mistake out and write over it. Like it's gone. You know what I'm saying? You blot out. Go ahead.
It says, concert, blot, a dark mark or stain, typically one made by ink, paint, or dirt. To mark or stain something.
Yeah, and that's when you able to stain something, you're able to go over it. You know what I'm saying? So blot is get rid of. You know what I'm saying? Like erase the memory of me. You can blot me out and just put Joshua there or somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Destroy me with my brothers and sisters.
Get rid of me. Get rid of me. No, get rid of me and not them. You know what I'm saying? Give them a chance. You can block me out if that's the case. Just like Paul said, I wish myself accursed. You know what I'm saying? That's true brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Scriptures also say there's no greater friend than a friend that's willing to risk his life. I'm paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? No greater friend than that. And Moses, in this example, in this context we're talking about, is a prime example of that. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, if you don't want to forgive them, I ask you to block me out. Maybe we could do that. Maybe I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll take it. Who else got blotted out for us? Christ. He got blotted out so much that they turned him white. Made him Caesar Borgia and all of that. He got blotted. They're trying to blot him out. You know what I'm saying? And most have the same spirit as the same spirit we got to take on as brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Constantly. That is absolutely correct, sir. I completely agree.
Continue.
Yes, sir. It says, I pray
thee, out of the book which thou hast written.
And he wanted the Lord to remove Moses from this whole entire book right here. The writings that we're not even able to see right now because he has them. The angels are writing them down as we speak. Moses wanted him to be removed from everything. Like, forget that I was born. Remove me just so my brothers and my sisters can continue to live. That way you can forgive them. Give them another chance to do right by you. Or was it turn the other cheek? Not to turn the other cheek to get hit again, but to turn the other cheek so that way we can prove, our brothers and sisters can prove that they wouldn't go against us again. Give us another chance to prove that we won't disobey you again. Forgive them. You say something, sir? No. Can you please continue, sir?
Verse 33. And the Lord said unto Moses, whosoever hath sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book.
And the Lord told Moses, you know what? Okay. Whoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Right? Because not everyone was sinning. We can't say that everyone sinned, right? We can't generalize it and say every single man, woman, and child was sinning. What we can say is that there was sin amongst us. And that's why we committed these sins time and time again, because the Lord doesn't just punish one individual. He punishes us as a whole, because we're a nation, not individuals. Now, like Officer Shlayala stated, if you are a cancer, then you should be removed and cut out and blot out. But we all should strive to be great brothers and sisters and obedient to the Lord. Please continue, sir.
Verse 34. Therefore now go, lead the people unto their place, of which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, mine angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when I will visit their sin upon them.
And the Lord said, you know what? Okay, Moses, the angel that I have sent to guide you and lead you, continue to follow him. He's gonna bring you to the land that I promised your ancestors. But there's gonna come a time when I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna reap. What was it? Reap what the example. Reap what you sow. I'm gonna come back and deal with those who have sinned against me. I'm going to remember those who have done wrong against me, and they're going to have to answer to me. Please continue, sir.
Verse 35. And the Most High plagued the people, because they made the calf which Aaron made.
And just like God plagued Adam and Eve for eating from the fruit, from eating from the tree of good and evil, and made us realize and made us experience what it's like to suffer, to have pain, to experience death. The Lord plagued us too. He made our living harsher for what we've done. And as you continue to read, as you go through, you'll read about the ground opening up. You read about, I think it was you read about a family and a group of people that came up against Moses. You read about how a brother decided not to obey Moses and take items and clothing that belonged to heathens when he wasn't supposed to, because the Lord commanded us not to touch him. I believe that's when we went up against the city of Jericho, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It was the Midianitish garment or the
Babylonian garment, but that's different. That's Gideon, I believe. You're talking about what you were talking about prior was Korah.
Yeah, Korah.
In Numbers chapter 15.
Correct.
That was, I believe that was Gideon you're talking about.
Gideon?
I believe so. Oh no, it was Joshua.
Yeah, it was Joshua and Moses.
Babylonian garment.
Concert. And I always forget his name. Phineas, when Phineas put the javelin through the Israelite man who brought the Moabitess woman into his tent, because while we were being punished for dealing with heathens, right? We're gonna see all these things as we continue to read for Brotherhood class every Tuesday, right? And we're gonna learn from experience, because since Adam and Eve, we weren't given the luxury to learn by just doing what's good. Hopefully, one day, we can learn from just us telling us stories and us telling you not to do a certain thing, right? One day, children will just listen when we tell them not to touch the stove, and they won't ever have to experience touching the stove and experiencing why they shouldn't touch the stove. One day, we can just listen and know and accept that we shouldn't steal, that we shouldn't commit murder, that we shouldn't lie, that we shouldn't sleep with another man's wife, that we shouldn't sleep with heathen women and men, because it hurts us too much having to experience that firsthand. And with that, this is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. I'm Priest and Officer Shargapan, joining me with Officer of 5000, Officer Shalayala. This is the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA. To my brothers, Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yashai Barakatam. And to my sisters, Shalom, Yahweh Shemanatam Bashim Yashai. Shalom, Israel.